All right, welcome. This is lesson 6 of Unit 2, Topic 1. And I'm going to make 2 videos for this lesson because we did this in 2 different days, which means I'm only going to do the very first one because that's the only one we did on the first day. So they're giving you characteristics of functions. That's what today's lesson is about. Key characteristics of functions. F of negative 2 is 4. F of negative 2 is 1, 2, 3, 4. F of negative 2 is 4. We know the function is right there. F of 1 is negative 2, 1, 2. We also know that f of 4 is 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. It tells us the domain is from negative 2 to 4, so that means it starts here and ends here. We know that the function is decreasing when x is less than 1, so that means that the function is decreasing, so it's going like this. And we also know that it's increasing when x is greater than 1, so it's going like this. And the domain is from negative 2 to 4, and it stops, and there's the function right there. It's that piece. All right, so this lesson, once again, it's on characteristics of functions, looking at what do we notice about the function? All the domains, the range, the increase intervals, decrease intervals, all kinds of stuff, function notation stuff. Does this graph represent a function? Why or why not? Well, yes, it does, because all the domains have exactly one range. It passes what's called the vertical line test. If I put a vertical line, a straight up and down line, I will never hit the graph more than once at the same time. Write a statement using function notation for the point 2, 200. What is the meaning of this point? 2, 200 means, well, I haven't read the question here yet. It looks like it says that after 2 hours since the pool opened, there should be 200 people at the pool. There are 2 intervals of h when the function is increasing. Use inequalities and write those intervals. Okay, so when is it increasing? It's increasing right here, and it looks like it's increasing right here. So I'm going to delete that, and it looks like it stops increasing about right there, and it stops increasing about right there. It starts here at 0, ends at 3. So one time it's increasing is from 0 to 3, and that's h, less than or equal to, okay? So that's 0 through 3, and then it's also increasing up, that's the bell, so hopefully you're at class, from 5 to 8. So it increases from 5 to 8. So it increased during 2 time intervals. From 0 to 3 and from 5 to 8. There are 2 intervals when h of function is decreasing. All right, so if it's increasing during those time intervals I just mentioned, then it's also decreasing from here to here and here to here. All right, so what are those 2 time intervals? So let's look at the same numbers I just mentioned again. So that looks like from 3 to 5, from 3 to 5, and it's also decreasing from 8 to 10. Great, so all we got to do is put h in between, just like we did a second ago. And boom, we are done. What is the domain of this function? The domain is from 0 to 10. 0 is where the domain starts, and 10 is where the domain ends. What is the range of this function? The lowest point of this function is 0, and it looks like the highest point goes all the way up to 300. It could be anything in between, so P of h can be anything in between 0 and 300. P of 3 is equal to what? What does this mean in the situation? P of 3 is 250. And what that means is after 3 hours, there's going to be 250 people at the pool. What 4 values of h will make this statement P of h equal 200? So look across at 200. There are 4 different answers. It looks like it's 2, I don't know, 3, 2, 4. 2, 4. I think I just drew that wrong. So yeah, 4. And about right here, what is that, 6 point something? 6.5 maybe? And then also right here, which is at about 9.5. Okay, so we just kind of estimate, no big deal. Great, next question. This time it's talking about profit and loss. So what makes this question different than the last one is the fact that it's going below 0 some of the times. Write an inequality for the values of n for which this function P of n is increasing. It's increasing from here to here. So that's increasing from negative 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. From negative 14, oh, no, sorry, whoa. When is it increasing? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. It stops increasing at 10. So that's when n can be, great, moving on. Write an equality for the values of n when the P of function is decreasing. So from 10 to 20 is when it's decreasing. All right, this question is seeming a little bit easier than the last so far. On this graph, label the points that represents P of negative 10 equals negative 400. P of negative 10 equals negative 400. That point would be right there. Right, the meaning of this, that means After, what is this? Oh, we didn't read the question. So what does everything represent? So 10 days, what are we talking about? Amount of profit loss at the Pool store, high temperature of that day. On the x-axis, positive values of n represent the number of degrees. Okay, so if it's negative 10 degrees, that means you're going to lose $400, it looks like. Oh, that's not good. Write the point whose coordinates are 2, 300 in the function notation. That would be 2, 300 right there. That means if it's 2 degrees above 0, then you're going to have $300 of money that you've made. What is the meaning of this point? I just said it. Write the point of those coordinates of negative 2, 100. Negative 2, 100 is right there. It looks like you're still making money. So if it's negative 2 degrees outside, then you're still going to make $100. Great, in that day. All right, so let's get to the homework. Those are going to be in the next video. Homework, I'm just going to do the very first question. It says, use the given representation of the function to answer the following questions. Where is r of x greater than h of x? Well, right here is when they become the same. R of x is above h of x all the way until you get to here. Here's when it starts being below. So it looks like 1.5, 2, there's 2.5, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. So as long as x is less than 2.3, then r of x is above h of x. What is r of negative 1 minus h of negative 1? R of negative 1 is, looks like about 1 point, ooh, this is hard to tell, 0.2, 0.4 points, wait, 0.1? Ooh, that's hard to see, 0.4? What is it going by? What increments? Oh, I'm sorry, there's 0. That makes more sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1 whole. I would say that's about 1.1. If I had to guess. And minus h of 1, which is exactly 0.2. 1.1 minus 0.2 gives us 0.9 as the answer. What is r of 0 plus h of 0? R of 0 is 1, definitely, and h of 0 is 0.2. So 1 plus 0.2 is 1.2. Okay, not too bad. Watch the second video if you want to see the bottom half of the homework.